Hi you all and welcome to Draw Along with me. Today we will be designing this beautiful spring cottage in the Procreate app for iPad. So grab your Apple Pencil and your iPad and let's get started. Click on the plus symbol. You could select square if you do not care about the resolution. In case you'd like the resolution to be higher, click on the two rectangles and make this a square of whatever proportion you'd like. I'll just do 2500 by 2500. You could also use inches. Make sure that the DPI is 300. This is the important part for the resolution. It is digital pixels per square inch. You can retitle this high res or high resolution square if you'd like to. Tap Create. Click on the two squares. This button is your layers panel. Tap Background Color. Select whatever color you'd like for your sky to be. It could be a sunrise, a sunset, or just blue. I will be making mine blue, but choose what you like. Tap Done. You can always return to this background color layer later if you'd like to change this. Click on the brush tool. In the options to the left, select Painting. In the options to the right, find Gouache. On the left or the right, depending on your iPad, make sure that the opacity or the bottom slider is at 100%, and you can change the brush size here. So definitely play with it as long as your color is not the same as your background color, and see how this builds up color, how you can layer it. So this is pressure sensitive, so if you're using an Apple Pencil or a third-party stylus that is also pressure sensitive, you should be able to push hard and push softly, and it will change the appearance. Over here you have the undo and redo arrows, and you also have a gesture. Undo is a quick 2-finger tap. Redo is a quick 3-finger tap. If you hold either of these down, it will undo or redo really quickly. So quick tap to undo instead of a hold. Let's go. From the color circle, select the color that you'd like for your ground. Now later on we will try to add some stones to this, so pick something that you like. When you've got your color, use a 2-finger pinch to zoom out so you can see the bottom edge. Make your brush size pretty big, and around a third of the way up, go ahead and add the dirt or ground color. As you can see, you'll have to kind of layer it up, and it should be pretty vibrant. Once you're ready with that, you can use a quick 2-finger pinch to get back to the largest size or stay zoomed out. You can use one layer for this, but I do recommend using separate layers. Click on the Layers panel, plus symbol to add a new layer too. Click on the color circle and select the color that you want for your house. Mine is going to be a white stucco house, but you can choose anything you like. Definitely test it, make sure that whatever color you've picked out is what you'd like. Undo. Make sure you still have this new layer if you chose to do that. The brush is already on gouache. Go ahead and press and hold the smudge tool. Tap on the brush, press and hold the eraser tool. In smudge, you should now have gouache. In the eraser, you should now have gouache. For the house, I'm going to use some basic shapes and start with almost an outline, though we will not be using drag and drop coloring for this project. Make the brush size a lot smaller and start the outline. So for mine, I will be using rectangles and triangles. You can make a different shape if you'd like. And when I say rectangles, I mean more like a trapezoid or a rhombus because I am trying to show a little bit of perspective here. Now remember, this part's still kind of just a sketch, so you can be a little bit loosey-goosey with it. I think this triangle is going to be a little bit taller. It's going to be more of the focal point here in the front for the front porch. Back here you can do a little garage, a little kitchen, a little greenhouse, anything you like really. Definitely use the eraser if you'd like to kind of clear up anything that went outside the bounds of what you're trying to do for your house. Doesn't really matter if it blends into the ground a little bit though. I do think I'd like to try to go just a little wider with my front triangle. Maybe a little taller too. Okay. When you've got the shape that you'd like, make the brush bigger and smaller and go ahead and color it in by hand. It's going to take just a little bit. You'll have to go over it a couple of times and really build up that color. But the objective for this project, apart from making a beautiful spring cottage, is to be a little bit painterly and to see it get kind of messy before it gets better. So have fun with this and don't worry about it too much. Definitely use the arrow whenever you'd like to place it where you'd like it to be to make your composition a little bit neater or how you want it to be. So I would like to have this a little bit more to the left, I think. So because it's on a separate layer, you can change this again at any time. All right, so with this done, or basically done, go to the color circle and select the color you'd like for your roof to be. Anything you like. You could do a separate layer. I will keep these on the same layer, but if you prefer separate layers for everything, go ahead and do that. So here we can start to sketch in the roof just like we did before with the house. So I'm just kind of outlining where I hope that this should be or where I'd like this to be. Probably low to about there. So lower on this side for mine. Maybe even lower. You could have those two separately, but I think I'd like to connect them behind this front triangle. Like something like that. You could have this roof area be a little slopey, like it's kind of an older cottage if you'd like to, or perfectly straight. Anything you would like for this part. For this front area, it will be kind of down to here. and up. A little bit fairy tale like. So fill in the color once you've got the area kind of mapped out, and we'll keep going. At any time, if you'd like to pick up your color, just place your finger on the color. This is the eyedropper tool. It will go to the color circle. You can also use this square and drag it around like so. Once you've got the roof how you'd like it to be, go ahead and select a color for your windows and for your door and decorate those how you'd like them to be. If you'd like to save colors, just tap down here at the bottom. Keep going. Remember to use the smudge tool whenever you'd like to kind of clean up any of the edges or blend anything together. Once you're finished with the designs for your windows and door or doors, click on the Layers panel and plus symbol to add a new layer 3. This will be for the ivy, the planters, that kind of thing. I'll show you what I'm going to do, but feel free to improvise and add whatever you like. So here in the color circle, I will choose a kind of medium green, a dark green, and a kind of yellowish green for the ivy. And then I'm just going to make the brush size pretty small and stamp, 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 stamp. One thing to note for this, if you're using your finger, you might want to switch to something else, something maybe like round brush, because it might be a little bit difficult to use gouache for this part, but go ahead and try it. Before I add the planters, I actually think I'll put the porch on layer 2 so that I can kind of space them out a little bit more easily. If you'd like to do that as well, definitely do so now. Click back up here to layer 3 and add the pots and planters however you'd like them to be. And of course, add what you'd like to your planters. Once you've added whatever you like here for this part, go ahead and click on the Layers panel, tap on Layer 2, and plus symbol to add a new layer here. This is where we'll put the roof in. So for me, I'm just going to use a darker color from the original roof color to put in lines. After that, I'm going to add a brighter, lighter color for kind of like scritchy, scratchy marks to show the shingles have texture. Do whatever you like for this part. make separate layers whenever you'd like to. So here for that kind of scratchy texture, I'm making it separately in case I'd like to lower the opacity of the layer or anything like that. Click on the Layers panel, plus symbol to add a layer. Press on this so it jumps in the air and drag it underneath layer 1. Here's where you can start the background shrubs. I'm going to make mine very simply with a very big brush size, swirling motion, dark on one side, and then a smaller brush size, stamping, and bright. I'll show you what I mean by that. Don't worry about putting in too much detail here because we will actually be blurring this part. And here, just stamp, pressing hard, and then pressing lightly as you get closer toward the bottom left. Or essentially choose where your light's coming from for this part. Whenever you have this how you'd like it to be, click on the magic wand and Gaussian blur. Put your pencil or your finger down and push toward the right. You're going to see this number change. Just blur it until you like the result. If you go super far, it won't show very much detail. So maybe not super far. When you like the result, click on the Layers panel. Plus symbol, press and hold so it jumps in the air and drag it underneath this one. Here you can choose a bright white color, and with a very big brush size, add in the clouds where you'd like them to be here in the background. We will of course blur this as well so that it matches the idea of the bushes, trees, whatever you have back there. So once you have it how you like it to be, again, click on the magic wand, select Gaussian blur, put your pencil or your finger down and blur it to whatever your preference is. Great. If at any time you'd like to move your pieces, click up here, tap on one of them, and then swipe right on all the other ones that are the same object. This is the house. Arrow, and then put it where you'd like it to be. Keep in mind, the background is kind of unchangeable at this point. With uniform, you could make it bigger or smaller. I actually liked it a little bit smaller than that. And place it where you want it to be. Click on the Layers panel and tap on Layer 1, plus symbol to add a new layer above this kind of dirt layer. So here, add in stones however you'd like them to be. I'll try to use some of the colors I've used before. And I'll definitely make that brush size way smaller, and I'll probably do multiple sizes, but very lightly just sort of pressing in to start to build up the idea of stones. Once you've got it how you like it, of course, move on to something else. So I'm going here to the top layer and adding a layer. I will add some details to the flowers in the pots. Go through your layers and add anything you'd like. I'm clicking here to be right above the porch, adding a new layer, and I'll put in some stonework here as well. Keep going through to add whatever you'd like. I'm going to try to place a shadow above my stonework here on the ground underneath the house. So I've added a layer. I will probably use something like this color, and I will change the blending mode here. So click on the N if you'd like to try that, the N for normal. Change the blending mode to either linear burn or multiply. I'm going to try linear burn first and then switch if I need to. Lower the opacity. Check it out, see what it's looking like. This looks okay to me. I might adjust it, but go ahead and try this if you'd also like to add a shadow underneath your house. So this is looking great. I will add a cat or something like that, and you should feel free to add whatever you like. If you want to see if you can make the colors a little bit more vibrant, one way I have learned for doing this myself is I'll probably skip these layers down here, but I'll try the stones. So swipe, duplicate. Wow, that's way more vibrant. I'll lower this top one on the opacity just a little bit and see if that still looks good, and it does. So now I'm going to pinch to merge these two together. I'll do this with as many of them as I think I should, and you should do the same to see what you like. Now this one I might come back to and delete. Definitely the house, swipe left, duplicate. Actually, it was already pretty good. I will merge these two together with a 2-finger pinch. Go through and see what you'd like to duplicate in order to make the colors a little bit more vibrant if you'd like to do that at this time. Again, remember to lower the opacity just to soften it. Check it by hiding and showing, and then pinch to merge those two together if you'd like to do that part. Plus symbol to add a layer at the top and start putting in whatever you'd like to for this part. I will add a cat, add what you like. Have fun. Here I've added a layer and I'm tapping on it to place a clipping mask here so I can basically highlight the cat and give it a little bit more definition. I will change the opacity here to something lower like 30 to 40 and use either screen or add. Alright, you all, this is it for the tutorial, but if you're a little bit extra like me and would like to see the cat's tail flick back and forth, go ahead and follow along with me here. Click on the gallery in the top left corner, click Select. Tap here to select your illustration. Tap Duplicate. Click the X to get out of that. Here you have two copies. Choose either one. Click on the two squares. Here we will combine all of our cottage layers. Use a two-finger pinch to place it over here and make sure that nothing changes. So it looks like I am good to combine all of these with a two-finger pinch and all of these with a two-finger pinch. I'll leave those separate in case I'd like to make any changes between the house and the background. Here I can pinch to merge these two together. It looks like nothing changed. Great. Tap here on the cottage, swipe right on anything that's going to be in the background, not the cat. Tap Group. Click on the little V shape here to collapse the group. Tap on the wrench. Click the second tab, which is Canvas, the first button, which is Animation Assist. Here you can see an onion skin of the cat. So tap down here, tap it again if you need to on the picture of the cottage, and select background. Great! Now here we need to duplicate the cat and change the tail. Tap here on the cat, tap it again if you need to, click duplicate. Use the eraser and take out the tail. Click on the color circle, select the color you used before, and draw in the tail in its next spot, wherever that's supposed to be. Here I will use a two-finger swipe right to turn on Alpha Lock, so I can try to add the same highlight here. You can also tap and select Alpha Lock from the options to the left. So I will just lightly add on the same kind of a highlight. It's not exactly the same, but it will work. So here we've got two pictures. Go ahead and duplicate and do the same thing as many times as you'd like to create your animation. Definitely make sure you have erased the whole tail. It looks like I didn't on the last one, so I'll go back, find that. That's not the onion skin, I thought it was, and it's actually just where I hadn't erased the tail fully. That's gonna look better. And add in the new tail wherever it's supposed to be. If like me you used Alpha Lock, go ahead and turn that off and turn it back on when you need to. Alpha Lock. Lightly adding back in that kind of highlight that I had before. Ooh, not that bright. Okay, press play. It's going to be really fast, don't worry. Tap settings. Here it's on loop, that's okay. Frames per second. Lower is slower. Lower is slower. You can add as many tails as you'd like to make this animation really, really cute. That's all I've got time for, so I will keep going. Thank you so much for joining me here today to design this beautiful cottage in the Procreate app. I really hope you enjoyed this one. See you next time!